Yo, it's Flea. Yeah, this new motion blur setting, it doubled your edit speed. I know, it's crazy, right? Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be trying this new secret motion blur setting. Now, it's not new, nor is it a secret, but the only reason I say it's new is because it's probably new for a whole lot of people. I never see anyone use this anymore. So it's one of those things where it's so old, people have actually forgotten about it, and now it's new again. And also, it's not really a secret. Like, it is a secret because the setting is not actually supposed to be in the game. It's more so a glitch, which is why it's pretty secretive, but a few OG Fortnite players may have already used it before. Regardless, it's something that I've never used before, so I thought I'd try it out for this video. And just before the video starts, if you could drop a like and subscribe, that'd be much appreciated. As well as using code FLEA in the item shop actually triples your editing speed. I've had a lot of people tell me that their editing speed has tripled after using code FLEA. Trust me, it works. Nah, but anyway, let's get right into the video. Alright, so this secret setting can only be accessed from creative, so we are going to have to jump into creative. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to check this setting out, do a few 1v1s with it. Then I'm going to actually do a side-by-side comparison with normal motion blur, just so you guys can get a general idea of what looks the best and what you would want to use in your videos. Alright, and by the way, the map code for this 1v1 map is up on screen now. This is the one I use in literally all my videos. I've got the floating ramps here, and you can change the color of your skin with these little orbs. Wait, I think, am I still on FaZe Jarvis's settings? Yeah, I'm still on FaZe Jarvis's settings from yesterday's video. Alright, so I'm not gonna go all the way up to my old settings because I actually liked FaZe Jarvis's settings. So I'm gonna find a sweet spot in between my settings and his settings. Alright, so I'm gonna start off with some 1v1s just on the normal no motion blur setting. Then I'm going to swap to motion blur, and then I'm going to swap to the secret motion blur. Whoa, we're flying. Oh, that was nice. Alright, so that is going to be about it on no motion blur setting. So now I'm going to chuck motion blur on and we're going to go from there. So for console players, it's just as easy as turning on the motion blur setting, but for PC, we actually have to turn up our post-processing settings. So I'm just going to put my post-processing on epic, and I'm going to put my motion blur on. And now we should have motion blur. And yeah, okay, yeah, I can definitely notice a motion blur. So what motion blur also does is, because it's a post-processing option, it processes the motion blur after your movement, which means you will get input delay. So straight away, I can already notice that just my movement, my analog stick feels a lot more delayed because it has to process in the motion blur, hence the word post-processing. So yeah, this is motion blur. I can notice a little bit of blur. It's nowhere near as much as the secret motion blur that we're going to get into next. I'll show you guys kind of what motion blur looks like as a freeze frame. So yeah, that is motion blur. We do have it on. Now let's do some 1v1s. Yeah, okay, I can definitely notice it with those fast movements that I just did. Oh, that flick shot. So yeah, motion blur, yeah, I can definitely notice it. That was nasty. Okay. Oh, how is that a hit marker? Oh, okay, yeah. I'll finish the motion blur on that kill. Thank you very much. Alright, now to get the secret motion blur setting, some of you might already know how to do this, but what you want, obviously, is you want motion blur on. And then after that, go to your My Island settings. And all you need to do is just add one filter. So one camera filter can be whatever you want. The one that looks the closest to normal is comic. So we're just going to chuck comic on. And now, as you can see, we have the comic filter, but because we have motion blur on, and basically how I think it works is you have the entire game here, everything you're doing on screen, then you have the post-processing motion blur on top, and then because you're adding another filter, it for some reason adds another motion blur on top of that. So basically you're running like double the motion blur, and it makes it look really cool. So check this out. Alright, and as you can see, we've got like a really like weird motion blur. It's like a double motion blur. It almost looks like RSMB. So if you guys don't know what RSMB is, it's basically a post-production motion blur that you put on in your video editing software. So RSMB stands for Real Smart Motion Blur, and pretty much looks like this, not as heavy. Look at this, man. This is, you actually can't even see when you're moving around. It's that blurry. Hang on a second. I'm just going to raise my sensitivity to the maximum sensitivity. I'm going to show you how blurry it will get. So I've actually never done this before, but I'm curious to see what it's like. So, okay. So that's it without switch mode. And then if I switch mode, okay. So that is, yeah. If you ask me, I'd say that is pretty blurry. Yeah, look how blurry everything is. Oh. This is insane. But I'm going to turn my settings back to normal and do some 1v1s to show you what it looks like. Alright, so here we are, trying double motion blur. Oh yeah, yeah. It is so, you feel so slow. This is, whoa. Okay, my eyes are like tripping out right now. So yeah, my sensitivity feels a lot stiffer and a lot slower. Man, this feels weird. It almost feels like I'm playing a different game. Alright, I'm not gonna be able to do many of these 1v1s because like I feel so motion sick right now. This is really tripping me out, I'm not gonna lie. Whoa, okay. I'll take that one. Alright, so the thing is, the person I'm versing isn't actually using this setting, so I'm the only one suffering in this 1v1. Oh, the pre-fire, bro. Oh, why make that? Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to call it there. Alright guys, and that is going to be it for this video. So in conclusion, this motion blur setting, although it does give you quite a big headache, it is really cool, especially if you want to make like a unique motion blur montage. As well as do keep in mind it does work with any filter. So if I just go ahead and change my filter to, let's say, low exposure, it'll also have the motion blur. You just have to have a filter on with motion blur. And if you're on PC, you have to have post-processing on as well. But yeah, it was just a quick one going over this unique secret setting. If you did make it to the end of the video, drop a green heart in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.